Hola, buenos dias, and welcome. I am Sydney Watson, and today this video is focusing on how to incorporate 5 online tools in my Spanish lesson. The topic for today, of course, is ¿Qué hay en la mochila? ¿Qué hay en la mochila? And this was done on Friday, May 7, 2021. This PowerPoint was created by me, of course, using Google Slides. Google Slides is a very good tool because it allows you to actually create colorful slides and backgrounds and incorporating images such as these bitmojis with words such as tu puedes and encouraging them, and it has a plethora of other things you could use like the tools. You have text box, you have images there, shapes, background, layout, theme, etc. transition, which is very good. You're gonna see some of those. But this lesson actually and this video is how to incorporate these 5 tools in my topic in my Spanish class, of course. The first one will be used for engagement, and that is Google Earth. This is an image of Google Earth. I went here, type in a name, because this is how you can use Google Earth. You can type in Google Earth, it will come up. You'll type in a name, for example, La Residencia de Lope de Vega. You type that in, depending on how it's working, it will show you the actual residence. For example, here it is at the red spot, La Residencia Universitaria Lope de Vega. This is where I actually stayed in 2019 when I was in Spain. So I will be, for example, showing the students this Google Earth, as well as the university where I went as well, Universidad de Alcalá. So that was the university I went in Spain. And so I will be sharing with the students these 2 images on Google Earth, and this is the image of La Residencia Lope de Vega, as well as just to engage them, because in the classroom, of course, you always want to engage your students, but one of the first thing I would do is to talk about the prior knowledge. So this is focusing on the prior knowledge, and what we did was cuántos años tienes. So we looked at the numbers. So in starting this lesson, I would have gone through the prior knowledge with this here. Then, of course, include cultural notes. We're talking about school, and the school system in Spain in particular, and in Latin America, and so on. So it would incorporate this particular part, cultural note, as to say the Latin American and Latin America, and the countries that make up Latin America, and the flags and so on. And then we also have a map of those countries, and I would be asking them questions. So once we would have gone through that, then we now incorporate Google Earth. As was mentioned, Google Earth allows you to search for any country, any name, type in anything you want, and it will actually take you to that location, and you're able to travel. So that is why I've incorporated this part. Vamos a viajar a España para estudiar. And so when I reach that part, I would have now make this clear, because the lesson is talking about ¿Qué hay en la mochila? You want to make it very clear that as you prepare to travel, you must know how to say and how to answer this question, ¿Qué hay en la mochila? This is basically telling them that, listen, this is what you're going to be. You'll have to know how to say at the end of the lesson. So, ¿Qué hay en la mochila? And they'll have to know how to answer that. So as we go through, I am showing them still on engagement. This is a picture of me when I was there in Brussels and in Spain. And this is a question I'm asking. So they're able to see the bag. They're able to ask the question, ¿Qué hay en la mochila? And this video, there's a video here. I'm going to just show you here. The video of me. This is a video of me when I was actually there in Spain. And so I will just quickly show them that picture of me, video of me scrolling down the pavement coming from the residency on my left, going to from the school actually on my left, going towards the residency, Lope de Vega. All right, so quickly, I would then, of course, the next thing you want to go on, I would go on to, is then we're gonna explore. So we gone through engagement, through that, then we go on, we say the topic again, of course, to let them know. We ask them to, I would ask the students to read the topic que hay en la mochila, and I would listen and I would correct if there is need for correction. And having gone that, the first thing I would, let me present this here. The first thing I would then do after that is to go through the make-believes comic. Now, this link would already be sent to them. The objectives for this part is listening, reading, and speaking. And quickly, here is the make-believes comic. So the make-believes comic allows you to make comic strip like this. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 comic strips here. Well, 6. And you can basically make comic strips. You can put in words such as these dialog box. You can put in images or pictures, and you can name the comic strips. For example, this one is called Que hay en la mochila because we want to link it back to our lesson. And at the end of it, you can save it. This is already pre-done, so you are able to save it. Once you go on Make Believes comic, you're able to see your options. You can save it to your device, your laptop. You can save it to your, you can send it to your email, and you can download it, as well as you can share it. These allow you to download right here. You can download it, and when you download it, you can download it as a picture. You can also insert it in your lesson, and you're able to then use it for other lessons as well as for future referencing. So this, I would use this for exploration, exploring the structure of the language. For example, they need to know how to ask the question ¿Qué hay en la mochila? As well as they need to know how to answer it by saying, for example, en mi mochila no hay estuche, lápices ni regla. Así que no tengo estuche, lápices ni regla. So they're going to be learning the structure here. They're exploring it, how to use it, how to write it. And so having finished this part, because I would be asking them questions, I would allow them to read, I would listen, and then I would give correction. And so they're able to see the structure as well as to see the vocabularies over this side. Having done that, I would then go on to the exploration, rather the explanation. This is the exploration. I would then go on to the explanation. The explanation, I would use a tool, well, I'm using a PowerPoint. You can also use a Google slide as well to make the storyboard. There are apps that you could use, however, I've chosen to use this one because it allows you to also, as I said, insert and to do the necessary things you want to make your class active. So I would go through the storyboard. This is telling them, I would read the instruction, of course, they can work individually or they could even work in pairs. So they would have to insert a picture here. They would then have to write the question, what's there in the backpack in Spanish, so ¿Qué hay en la mochila? And then they would have to insert another picture with the items, and then they're gonna also write what you have in the backpack. And then the final, because there are 3 slides to it. So the next one is write what you don't have in your backpack. And then this is what they would have to do. So this is the part that they would fill in to answer this question, to make the storyboard. So as I said, that would be the explanation. They would then have to explain what they write. So this is what it is: listening, reading, and speaking. So they are listening, well, that's for make-believe part. And those are some examples that I would have given them after they complete the make-believes. And this is the storyboard, individual activity or even group. Writing, reading, and speaking. So they would write and they would read what they wrote, and then of course you're engaging them in speaking. Having done that, I would then go on to elaboration. Now the elaboration is an individual activity, and the objective of for this activity is reading and speaking, I would use Padlet to carry out this activity. Here is Padlet. Padlet is an online tool also that allows you to create activities like this, to insert images, to make audio, for example. Here are some audios that the students would have done for this lesson, and here is an example I'm going to listen to. So okay, excellent. So that is Padlet. Padlet allows you to record, for example. It engages you in other activities. You can also match. It depends on the theme that you're working with, because there are different themes, and so you have different options. You can actually make something like this. You can insert the images, you can then give a title to it, of course, you can save it, you can download it, you can share it, and these allow you to edit it as well. You can print it, you can export, etc., and you're able to use this in your classroom as well for other activities. And so I would use this with them because I want to engage them in speaking. The next one, the final activity, of course, would be the Kahoot. Now, Kahoot has a lot of options to it as well. And so I've created this activity for the evaluation as the last one. And what I would do is to click here, click on play. You set up your Kahoot. You go on to kahootit.com, you create your slides, you type in what you want to type in, you put in your correct options, and then you save it. And when it is finished, to host the game, you click on host here. It will generate a code for you, and that code you can send it to your students. For example, I'll come back to this while it loads. All right, so back to the PowerPoint, and then we go to having finished Padlet, and they would have gotten the vocabularies and the examples and so on. And this is the final activity, so Kahoot. So they would go to Kahootit, and then they would have to type in their name and the pin. This is the pin for every time you create an activity, it will generate a new pin. So you want to click on classic for them to actually see the pin. Here it is generating the pin, and once you generate the pin, there you go. Some of the students may not have more than one devices, and so you want to actually send them the pin. What they would do is you can use the pin. You type in the pin right here in kahootit.com, and you're able to play. So you're going to type in the pin. So that's 90695337. All right, let's see. And then we would, oh, it's the wrong one. Oh, lo siento. So the pin 9069537. Okay. All right. So once you type in the pin, it allows you to enter the game. You would have to then type in your name, and then you would need to play it. Let me pause this just for a minute. Okay. So what you're looking at here, well, here I enter the pin, and now it is asking you to enter your name. So you can enter a name, for example, Tom. Okay, enter Tom, and there, it is now showing on the screen. So once it is showing Tom on the screen, you're in. So this is saying you're in. Right away, you can start the game. Now, when you start the game, KI en la mochila will come up as a topic, and it is showing on my device at the same time. So you're able to then ask, no, okay, what are the items Pablo has in his backpack? And it gives you a time. Right here is a timer, and you will have to select based on the screen as well as what this is saying. So they would need to read what this is saying. En mi mochila tengo una pluma, unos libros.